guys, before asking your question, you make sure you raise your hand, you give us your name, the media organization you're working for, and then you go for your questions. Please, before we start, make sure you all put your phone on silent. I've already done mine, and then we will go for the press conference. Before coming to you, let me ask the two first questions to the coach and the player, and then we go for the Q&A. Coach, thank you and welcome in Abidjan in this MMC. Your team will be playing the third match place against DR Congo. Are you guys ready to go for the podium in this tournament?
Well,
excuse me, guys. The leader. Thank you.
First of all, let me go back to Wednesday, where we played a very good game against Nigeria. A great performance of South Africa. We showed that we are a good team again. And when you are out of the final, after 120 minutes of football and penalties, it's always a big disappointment. And disappointment was for all of us, including the coach. But this is a coach who is proud to be coach of that team. We did a very good AFCON. And again, when you play so good, and certainly in the semi-finals, the disappointment is very big, and the game tomorrow is special. It depends a little bit of which team will be mentally the most recovered of what happened on Wednesday. Because also for DRC, it has been a disappointing meeting. If you ask my advice, this game has not to be played. The most important thing in a tournament like this is number one. If you are number 3 or number 4 tomorrow, for me it's exactly the same, because this is only for statistics. Number 1 is important, and number 1 we will always remember. So again, I hope that my players will be enough recovered of the knockdown they got on Wednesday. There will be some players not available tomorrow, so there will be changes in the team. We have Bafana Bafana, who was injured 2 games ago, and for him the tournament was finished. And we have the red card of Grand Kekana, so he will not be available tomorrow either. And we have, for the moment, 3-4 players who suffer from injuries. So we have to wait till the last training tonight to see if they will be available for the game of tomorrow. So a little bit problems, but again, I hope that the players who will be on the kickoff tomorrow, that they will be mentally, that will be the most important thing, that they will be mentally ready to go again for 100% like we did in the 6 previous games, because the DRC was also in the semi-finals. That means that they are also a good team. Thank you.
Thank you, Coach Siyanda. You and your teammates were amazing in this tournament, playing a lovely football, but unfortunately you lost on the semi-final on penalty. How much are you guys motivated to make it tomorrow and at least make the podium?
Good morning, everyone. We had our own goal as a team. We wanted to go as far as we could. We know very well of our quality as a team, but it's something that we had to prove to ourselves, and especially from the coach, which is one person who always believed in us as a team. So to go as far as we could was the main objective, and to reach the semi-final, it was a dream for us as a team. It showed that we have done incredibly well. preparing for the tournament. Yes, we wanted to take it home. Yes, it was a dream for us, and we managed to reach a semi-final, which was a massive step for us as a team, where we're coming from the past few years. So we're extremely happy with the progress of the team, of us as South Africans. And the game tomorrow is going to be very special to us as we continue with the dream. We really never thought that we can afford to be in this position at this tournament.
Thank you. Siyanda, can you please adjust the microphone? Can you please adjust the microphone, then people will be hearing you better. Thank you. Now let's go for the Q&A. Yes, sir.
Bonjour Hugo, bonjour Xulu, c'est Marc de Radio France Internationale. Hugo, après la défaite en demi-finale, vous disiez que la déception était comme ça, mais la fierté était bien supérieure à la déception. Aujourd'hui, on sent que vous n'avez pas vraiment envie de jouer cette petite finale. Est-ce que ce serait quand même une fierté de ramener cette troisième place séparée des plus de 2000 pour le foot sud-africain, et vous avez en plus cette équipe avec 21 joueurs de l'Afrique du Sud, ça mettra aussi en avant cette formation et ce football sud-africain, c'est assez unique dans cette Coupe d'Afrique des Nations.
Oui, mais il faut faire attention que ce match de demain ne devienne pas une farce. Il est évident qu'il y a beaucoup de joueurs qui n'ont même pas joué une minute et que vous voulez donner aussi à eux la chance de jouer un match. Mais il faut rester correct et sérieux aussi. C'est quand même un match pour la 3e et la 4e place dans un tournoi comme la 4. Donc c'est pas un match amical ou n'importe quoi. Donc dans ce sens-là, on doit rester sérieux et on doit essayer de mettre une équipe la plus forte possible pour demain et d'arracher cette 3e place. Mais comme je viens de dire, c'est pas notre problème maintenant. Notre problème sera, est-ce qu'on va être rétabli du coup qu'on a reçu mercredi sur le plan mental? Et est-ce que les joueurs vont être assez forts pour se remettre et pour aller encore une fois à 100% comme on a fait les matchs derniers? Donc, je ne sais pas vous répondre là-dessus, mais de l'autre côté, on ne va certainement pas faire de ce match une farce et mettre ceux qui n'ont pas joué sur le terrain et avoir une équipe qui a déjà d'avance perdue. Certainement pas. Ça reste un match pour la 3e et la 4e place.
Okay. Madame Derrière.
Morning, Mark Gleeson from Supersport. Can I ask you, what's the potential, do you think, of this team now going into the World Cup qualifiers? Because after the loss against Rwanda, we're perhaps a little bit on the back foot, but do you think there is the potential now to get the top place in the same group with Nigeria based on the confidence and the morale that will be built from this particular tournament?
You know, when there is a draw for Africa or for the World Cup, and you see which teams are in the group, you start seeing, okay, this team, yes, and then there is Nigeria. So I think it's normal that you know that this will be the team to beat. But after Wednesday, we know that we can beat them. So this Africa made us stronger. And I said already in the past that South Africa need friendly games against the big teams. That's why you learn something. So those 6 games we played here on this level helped us a lot and make our chances bigger to be qualified for the World Cup, and this is now where we have to focus on. We have to focus to be on the World Cup, so after 23 years we had a semi-final in Africa, so the next focus will be now be in the World Cup of 26. It will not be easy because, okay, I'm talking about Nigeria, but there is always Zimbabwe, there is also Benin, we lost in Rwanda. So that means also, and I think this African shows it, that the little countries make a lot of progression. If you see how many big countries were very soon out of this tournament. So it's not an easy group for the World Cup, but again I think it gives us much confidence that we can that we can be first in our group after this AFCON.
Thank you, coach. Yeah.
Bonjour coach, Nasser Abedi, consultant sport pour NCI.
Everything that reached finals. But then anything that reached in finals to get to finals. After that long stretch of the game against Nigeria, what is the psychology, physical strength of you and your team in ahead of tomorrow's game?
I mean, it's a very difficult situation for both teams. Kind of disappointment we had. They all wanted to reach the final. It's going to lie on whoever has a mental strength to face tomorrow's game, and I think we're very much capable of that. As much as we wanted to be in the final, but we are professionals in it. It's part of this game. Win one, lose one. So it's something that we have to face from tomorrow. We have to chin up and face tomorrow's game, which is not going to be easy as well.
Another question for the players? Yes, sir.
Siyanda, let me take you back to the start of the tournament. I mean, games are coming thick and fast. Not too much time to rest and get ready for the next one. From a conditioning point of view, just take us through how the process was, how you guys were managed in terms of your conditioning.
I think the fact that we've been together for a very long time as a team, it wasn't something that is out of the norm for us to stick on what we think will work for us. We have a very good conditioning coach in Coach Kopano. He's someone that we've had for a while, and I'm sure with him it was a bit easier working with the players he's very much familiar with. And the fact that we have Sundowns players, we have 80% of the squad with Sundowns players, which is something that they're very much familiar with. In games coming in thick and fast. It's what we're very privileged for, to have so many players of the same team, players that are very much familiar with the occasion of playing in every 2-3 games. It did help us a lot, and I think it wasn't something that is out of the norm for us to make sure that we're very much ready for games in a very short space of time that we were given.
Okay. Yeah. Like.
Good day, Coach. Edo from ESPN. During your time as South Africa head coach, you've been a little bit critical at times of PSL organization, of SAFA. What is the advice you would give the organizers of South African football to transform a semi-final team into a winning team and a team that can reach the World Cup?
My opinion is always if the national team is doing well, automatically the rest will follow. I said already a few times that it's necessary that the level of PSL, of the local competition, has to be increased. Everybody, some people tells me, yes, you see, coach, also with the local players, you can play a semi-final in Africa, and I know this is true, but you have to see also the level we reached. And this is not the level that PSL has, and this is normal too. But if we go back now to that level of PSL, maybe we increase ourselves again with the national team, and that's why it's important now that we proved something with the national team, and that everybody sees now, yes, and also the players, they felt it, that this is another level. And countries who have players who plays in Europe, it's more easy for them because those players plays every week again on that level. So let's hope now that in South Africa they are convinced of that, and that maybe with, I don't know why, we have to discuss that and we have to plan that we can increase that level. And I think then with what we did now, South Africa can be again an important country in African football.
Yes.
My name is Yusuf from Sport Writers Association of Nigeria. You did extremely well looking at working for and building a team around local players with huge criticism. How do you manage it?
Yes, it's true that maybe we are the only team with so much local players. It took time. It took time to convince the players that first of all that they have that they had also the qualities to make big performances on tournaments like this. And then you need results. If the results are not following, it's very difficult to understand what the coach is telling you. So the results were there. We beat Morocco, we beat DRC, we played a good game in Ivory Coast. So the confidence became more and more. And then here, yes, we were extremely motivated to show something. And I felt that on all the players. We wanted to show something. And those players know also now, and you see the interest there is for some players. They know also now that, yes, this is a level why they have to show their skills. And I think they did more than we expected from them. They adapted very quickly on that level, and that means that they have qualities. But again, for them it should be good to play every week a game like this. They will become better, and that is normal. When you play against good teams on high level, you become better also. So I'm very happy that we did an AFCON like this, that we showed also that South Africa has good players, and there are some players now where other even European teams are interested. So that means that we did it very well, and that those players showed that they can play a higher level than what the championship is in South Africa.
Okay. No, very late. I'll give you only the last questions because you let your phone ringing during the press conference. Just go back to your phone. Very late. You have only the last question today.
Good day, coach. Congratulations, first of all, for reaching this far. I understand the ability to be a journalist from Australia. You have not only silenced critics after your away with Cameroon by using a couple of local players to reach this far. How do you measure the experience working with professionals and working with players playing the local leagues, in this tournament? And basically, what assessment will you make of the development of African football, having worked with this current South African squad? Thank you.
The level of you see the East Coast countries like Senegal, like Cameroon, they have all good national teams because all those players are playing in Europe, and they are playing a very high level in very big teams. So they have an advantage on us, we South Africa, who are playing with most of local players. But that means also that maybe it's time that those people are coming and look also to South African players. You know, you can only show the level on such tournaments. I saw games of Champions League in Africa, and you can't compare it with matches of games of Champions League in Europe. So there is a lot of work to do, certainly. There is a lot of work to do, and maybe this is what Africa needs to be convinced of if they want to play an important role in a World Cup, for example. I think Morocco did it. Morocco understood that, yeah, the way they played before, it's not the way to be a bigger country in football. So they showed to everyone in Africa that it's possible. Because sometimes people say that African countries can never be world champion. Why not? Why not? I don't know why not. So it's possible. But yeah, maybe they have to work a little bit different. It's also a question of money, better education to the players as a professional player, but also the skills. So yeah, there is a lot of work to do, but yeah, that needs also money, and that is something that many African teams or many African countries don't have. And therefore, again, the African level of African football, and then I'm talking about clubs, club level, has to increase also for many countries in Africa. And then when they can achieve that, the games between African teams will also be better, more intensive, higher level. And at the end, it will reflect on the national team or all national teams of Africa, and there will be more and more able also one day to be a world champion. Why not?
Okay, I'll take you to the next question for the player. Right? Okay, yeah.
So yeah, my name is Eric from Kenya. My question to you as players. Obviously, you guys are disappointed about it with a couple of AFCONs coming up in the next couple of years, between Morocco and East Africa and the World Cup in between. What is the target as players? Because you've beaten a team that has gone to the World Cup semi-final, and now you've beaten the semi-finals of the AFCON. As players, after this defeat or in between the AFCON, I'm sure you've seen how much you guys can achieve, but have you, what are your targets now going forward after this defeat?
I think as players in the team, we have to go back and relook at how the tournament for us, what did we achieve, what can we try and achieve on our next tournament. It's just a matter of us focusing on tomorrow's game, and then we can only take it from there. But it's something that we're really proud of. At least now we have some direction. We know where to go. The coach kept on reminding us how good we are as a team, as players. It's just a matter of us believing in that now and taking it to the next step.
For the player? Yeah.
Siyanda, Renzian from University of South Africa. How important is it to beat Congo just to get, over that, maybe that heartbreak of that Nigerian game and take positivity going beyond this tournament?
I think it's very important for us to realize that we have I think one of the youngest teams in AFCON, so too much pressure is not something that is going to help us going forward. We've shown what we can do as a team, and we've been putting so much pressure in what we can achieve as a team. Is something that we don't want to experience as a team. And I think tomorrow's game is just for us to make people realize that we've improved, and it's going to be a very special game for us. And when it goes to these stages of the tournament, you only need luck. Every team that is there is equally capable of winning games, and I think it's just one thing that we lacked on our previous game against Nigeria, just a bit of luck. So it's something that we'll need again tomorrow.
Satish, you still need the microphone? Go ahead, give it to him. Questions?
Satish Shekhar, Powers Magazine. You built your team around Mamelodi Sundown, and it realistically is the only thing you could do if you are going to base a club team was do it within South Africa. How important is the team ethic that you have, and the fact that they play together on a regular basis to your strategy for South Africa? Do you think that gives you an advantage in the future matches for South Africa in particular?
First of all, I think those are players who play on the highest level in African football. They play every year Champions League, they are quarter-final, they are semi-final. So that means that they are used to play on that level, they are used to play under pressure. Secondly, they're playing together every week. So about automatism, I don't have to do something, they know it. And that is important when you see that we played most of the games with the defense of Mamelodi Sundowns. I don't have to tell the boys how they have to position themselves, what they have to do. They follow each other blindly because they know it from every week. So also in the midfield with Mokoena, with Zwane. So what should I say? The basic of the team is Mamelodi Sundowns, and I don't have to work on it to have those automatisms. They are there automatically. So that was a big advantage for me in the preparation to this AFCON. At the other side, I'm not really in favor to have so much players of the same club. I've always said that you have to try to have a good mixture of players from different clubs. This is a national team. But okay, you have to choose also your strongest player. And this is what I did for the moment. On those positions where Sundowns players are, they are at that moment, or now, they are the strongest players. Maybe that will change in the future. That is possible. But again, to answer your question, it was an advantage to have those players in my team because the automatism were there, they are used to play with each other, so it was an advantage.
Okay, very good. Microphone is yours, participant, the last questions. Go ahead.
Okay, thank you. Very from Mercedes in South Africa. Coach, you earlier mentioned some of the friendlies that were played in the last 6 months, and some of those were against DRC and also Côte d'Ivoire, and they are now in the semi-finals and also in the final. And how important it is to continue with the strong matches. I see that already there's a friendly match lined up against Algeria. Does this talk to how you want to transform, but also playing against a strong opposition, and also the importance of maybe rebuilding the team? Are there players that you are also targeting who are playing maybe in some leagues in Europe that you feel that can come and make this team stronger? As you look at the program, it's very busy this year. World Cup qualifiers, we have to finish the 2025 AFCON qualifiers as well?
I think if I understood you well, you were talking about players. Maybe you have to change in the future. That is true. There are a few players maybe who are at the end of international career. But I don't want to talk about that now. This is something for the future. And surely we have to look to the future. And surely if we should be qualified for World Cup, and there are maybe some players who will be too old at that moment. But what is old? 35, 36, as a human being you're not old, but as a player, and then playing a tournament where you have to play every 3 days, it's difficult. So we have to face that, and we have to look at that, and we have to be prepared on that. That one day maybe those players will not be able anymore to do the performances that needed to play on that level. So, and that is maybe the big work that waits for us now in the next months. To look good if we find those players. Maybe some players who were not with the team now who are also playing in Europe. We are going to recuperate, I hope, some players, and then I think about Lai Foster, and I think about Motiba, Lebo, and maybe others. There are some players on our list that we will see or look and scout in the next months, and let's hope we find them, and that we can, without problems, and if it's possible, replace those players who maybe in 2 years will be too old to play a World Cup.
He has answered that about already when he's making his statement. But we have only one question, he has answered it, and we have time right now, and we still have one question remaining. Coach, do you speak Zulu? Okay? Do you speak Zulu? You speak Zulu? I have a question in Zulu. Okay, Siyanda. So Siyanda, we have 2 questions. We take one last question in Zulu, and then we end this press conference. Please give the microphone to Taba. Don't worry, the Congolese, we also have one question in Lingala. Thank you.
Thank you. We've seen quite an overwhelmingly positive response, especially on social media, regarding the performance of South Africa. Just your message to the people of South Africa as you head into the last match, which is the third and fourth day. Just your appreciation to the positive response that you've been getting from the people of South Africa.
That's not Zulu. No, the question has to be in Zulu. Because we're trying excuse me. It's important to explain that we are trying to promote African languages in an African competition. That's why you've been seeing us giving the last question in the local languages. That's why. Thank you.
Sibone uxhaso olukhulu from abalandeli nawo kude eNingizimu Afrika ngendlela performe ngayo la eCote d'Ivoire. So sicela nje usinikeze umlayezo for abantu basekhaya in terms of performance eNingizimu Afrika.
Sibonga kakhulu ukuthi sigcine sikwazile ukuthola isibindi nokuthenjwa South Africa okuyinto kade isasilahlekele for isikhathi eside. Ngilele kuthina ukuthi sigcine sidlala ngokuyimisela ekuthenini sikwazi ukuthola ithemba, ukuthola ukuyiqhenya kwabalandeli beSouth Africa. Bekubaluleke kakhulu for thina ukuthi siyimisele nesiyimisele ngakhona ukuyisa ithemba ukuthi ibhola lethu lisasezingeni phezulu e-Afrika. For thina as abadlali and from umqeqeshi wethu into okade ehlezi esitshele yona indlela esikwazi ukudlala ngayo, indlela esikwazi ukuyimisela ngayo. Ibisilele kuthini ukuthi sikwazi ukutshengisa abalandeli baseNingizimu Afrika bonke bephelele ukuyimisela kwethu nokuthi amalungiselelo ethu ahambe kahle ukuthi sikwazi ukudlala sifike kulona. Bekuma-plans ethu ukuthi siqhubekele phambili indlela esikwazi ukufika ngayo la sifike khona. Kube yiphupho kakhulu ukuthi sigcine dlala ama-semi-final and ngiyacabanga ukuthi kubajabulisa kakhulu abantu be-South Africa.
Thank you, Siyanda Kulu. Thank you, Coach Hugo, and thank you guys.